So in true meet you guys where you are, meet me where I'm at, I pulled out my backpack for the first time in 2.5 years. And my clicker doesn't work, so I'm not playing on my phone. I'm just using technology. Thank you, Apple, for making all the things work. So I'm just going to use it as a slide advancer. So I'm not over here like texting while I'm supposed to be talking to y'all, I promise. But yeah, so this talk was born out of a number of conversations at Agile 2022 this summer. I have actually been to a conference in person. I just didn't talk. And I kept getting that question over and over again. I'm like, hey, Reese, why aren't you talking? And I was like, nothing to talk about. Hey, Reese, why aren't you talking? I got nothing to talk about. And they were like, yeah, you have nothing to talk about. Like, if y'all know me, some of y'all, I see a lot of friendly and familiar faces in here. Y'all know I don't shut up. So people were very astounded with, oh, Reese, you don't have anything to talk about? Sure. So I was sitting in one of Woody Zuhl's open jams, and when I say one of, I mean one of. The man had a ton, because apparently he had a lot to talk about at Agile 2022. Sorry, Woody, I love you. But yeah, I was sitting there, and all of a sudden something that he said triggered my brain, and I started writing Post-it notes. And I wrote some more Post-it notes, and some more Post-it notes, and suddenly I had a table full of Post-it notes, and I had stopped listening to Woody 30 minutes before. And I was like, oh man. Turns out I do have something to talk about. And I realized it was this thing that I keep saying over and over and over again, and I think some of y'all have probably even heard me say it inside your organizations. I keep seeing the same dang 10 things. Every organization I walk into, I see the same dang 10 things. And I'm telling you, over the past 20 years, I have worked with hundreds of teams, dozens of organizations, and every single one that I walk in that's doing Scrum, I see the same 10 things. I can tell you what's going to happen when I walk into a lot of stand-ups. I can tell you what's going to happen when I walk into sprint planning. And you know what? I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to fix your dang stand-ups. I want to talk about trust. I want to talk about like delegation. I want to talk about anything but fixing your dang stand-ups. So quickly, I'm Reese. Hi. I'm going to hit the microphone and blow all your eardrums out really quick. Remember, we haven't done this in a minute. I am a coach. I'm a trainer. I'm a mom. That is how I show up. I show up as I am. I don't know how to show up as anybody else. So this is not a persona. This is me. This is how I show up. And so I show up in teams, and I'm going to give them the hard truths because I'm a mom. Like, I got to set you up for the right stuff. So we're going to focus on Scrum today because we don't have 5 hours. We only have 45 minutes, and hopefully we can get all this in that time as it is. So come along this little Scrum journey with me. And I say this because I think that we all might have a similar collective experience. And so let's see if this will advance. Oh, look, it locked because technology. I believe this is a collective experience. And I can say that because I teach Scrum classes. And inside there, I do an activity called the retrospective anti-pattern field trip, where I go, hey guys, if we were going to destroy a retrospective, or if we were going to make a retrospective where we got absolutely no value out of it whatsoever, what are the things that we would do? And I see the same things written on Post-it notes over and over and over again. I know other trainers who do an activity in theirs called the Daily Scrum from Hell. Guess what? Daily Scrum anti-patterns that they see over and over and over again. I do a thing called retro events. I know I've done it with some of y'all in here where we literally go and walk through all of our events and go, how could we make them better? What are the dumb things we're doing? I am so confident in the collective experience of these same things over and over again that I ask it as an interview question. Because I want to know if you've been in a team when I'm hiring you as a coach, because I truly believe you're going to see the same things over and over again. Why do we stop there? Why am I doing that? Why am I seeing all the same things over and over again and not fixing it? So that's why we're here. Just so we're clear, We're not just going to spend time identifying, but I do want to make sure that we are having a little bit of a collective experience. So if you are sitting by yourself, this might get a little bit boring, or you might feel a little weird talking to yourself, but over the last 2.5 years, we might have been talking to ourselves a lot. So I'm going to give you a second to pick up and move to a table with at least 2 or 3 other humans. And then I would like you guys to talk to each other. Now, people on the horn, on the Zoom, I want you guys thinking about this too. What are the patterns that you see over and over again? I'll start you off with, as a user, or yesterday I did this. Today I'm going to do this. No impediments. Yesterday I did this. Today I'm going to do this. No impediments. So, talk amongst yourselves. What are the patterns that you see over and over and over again in Scrum teams that you know are not helping? Sit with people so you don't have to talk to yourself. All right. I am guessing we could talk forever and ever and ever about this. I'm gonna bogs y'all. See, she taught y'all well this morning. It's so good because I don't have to teach y'all things because she already did a lot of it. We're gonna go back to her talk a couple of times because it was good, right? All right, so I'm guessing that your list looks something like this, probably with a few extras added in. I saw some from the folks online. What was that one that I laughed about? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think we need to do the retrospective. Can we just do stand-up twice a week? I love that one. Heard that one a ton of times. What else? What are a couple other ones? Too fast. Oh my God, we're moving too fast. We can't possibly do all of this. We can't possibly deliver any value in 2 weeks. I love that one.
Scrum has too many meetings.
Oh yeah, too many meetings. Oh dear Lord, we have too many meetings. No sprint goal. That's one I see a lot. Sprint goal, what's that? The meeting after the meeting, the stand-up after the stand-up. We all went and did our robotic, no impediments, no impediments, no impediments. Hey, guys, so this thing is actually really, really broken. Okay. Or the retro gripe session. What else? What am I missing?
Stand-up and status report.
Oh, the status report. Yeah. What else? Oh.
Everything is a priority.
Oh, everything's priority number 1. Can I just put a 1 behind it? Yeah. That's one thing I'm going to tell you. That's one thing Jira does well. You got to stack rank them. Sorry, guys. You don't get, but then they put a priority field in there. Oh, the great enabler. All right, so it's not good enough, though. I said this. It is not good enough to just keep saying, look, we see all this stuff over and over again. We need to start dismantling it. So that's what we're going to do in here. So why? Why are these things happening? You guys have your list. I'll even go back and put my list up so that you guys have these ones up here too, so that you can look through them. Why? Go back to your table. We'll regroup again. But why are those things happening? Why are we having status meetings? Why do we have too many meetings? Why do we have no sprint goals? Why? So talk amongst yourselves. So we started to get a little quieter. You guys were having such really great conversations, and I heard a lot of things that I found that I thought were the whys. Here's some of the things that are on my list, and I heard a lot of these around the room. No clear why at all levels, all the whys. And those whys not filtering through anything. I put on the back one, that as a user, I can. But why, right? And so the no clear why I heard around the room at 4 or 5 tables. Then I was walking around. No goals, kind of a bigger thing up there, that sprint goal. You'll see the no why, the no goal is a a what, a why, and it'll probably end up being a how too, just spoiler alert. The people that were supposed to be the masters of Scrum sometimes just went to a one-day class, two-day class. Poof, you're in charge. I know, I was a baby Scrum Master that took on a transformation after a two-day class. Go, make us agile. Okay. Oh boy, did I step in it. I did all the things wrong. Cargo cult Scrum. If any of y'all are familiar, not familiar with this term cargo cult, but it's going through the motions and not clearly, again, knowing why we're doing what we're doing. We show up to stand up every day because our Scrum Master told us we have to do sprint planning, we have to do backlog refinement, we have to go to retrospectives, but we don't know why. We don't clearly understand the purpose behind all of these things. What else? What am I missing off this list? What are some of the whys that you guys came up with?
Agile is a tech thing and not a whole culture.
Ooh, I love that. Yes, the Agile is what the nerds do. It's what the dev teams do. Yeah, like we're gonna keep doing the same stuff over here, but you guys change. You tech people change, or even better, like you guys go change, go do all your scrummy things, but we're gonna need the same stuff and reports and outputs. Like we're gonna still need the 6-month planning period. We're gonna still need all of those PRDs written, but you go Scrum. Go break your project up into that 6-month project into sprints if it makes you feel better and you're scrumming. Or go ahead and call that thing sprint planning. We'll just change the names of stuff. You were a project manager, now you're a Scrum Master. Poof, now we're doing Scrum. What else? What are some of your other whys? Poof, I know, sorry. There's not the little poofy thing on here, so my poofs might hurt your ears. I apologize now.
If you're running your teams at 110 or 120% capacity, nobody's got the time or energy for any of this.
Oh, yeah. Please do this on top of all this other stuff that you have to do. Let's do this on top of your daily job. You're a Scrum Master now, too. You're a product owner now, too. Yeah. What else?
A lot of people don't know what it means to be self-organized. And
Yeah.
they don't know what it means to be empowered.
Yeah, you guys he's asking me for another one. Poof, you're empowered.
Sprint planning.
Right?
Sprint planning is look at the backlog. What can you get done in the next 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, sprint planning, yeah. Sprint planning, let's just look at that backlog. Let's see how much we can get done. Let's grab we got 60 JIRA points that we do every, thing. Let's just grab 60 points in JIRA. Cool. That was an easy sprint planning, in and out, 10 minutes, record time. Will you give us a few from the chat, the Zoom chat, so we can include our friends online? Because they were coming up with some really cool stuff.
Yeah, in the middle of the sprint, the boss asks an individual on the team directly to do something that was not planned or committed by the team.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Also not really inspecting and adapting. That is, if you are breaking a project, a 6-month project down into 2-week sprints, you're not inspecting and adapting. You're not adapting. You might inspect, but you're not really adapting. There's a lot missing in the middle if you're just doing the same old stuff and calling it a different name. If you think Scrum is a process and you're following it to a T, this could also get you into one of those cargo cult places, this place where you're like, I'm just doing what Scrum says, I'm doing the 3 questions, I'm doing the 6-hour time box, I'm doing the thing. I show up every morning, I do the thing. Or if the powers that be said, we're gonna all do Scrum. We're gonna hire a bunch of coaches, we're gonna bring them in, and we're gonna transform you. We're gonna do Scrum and go. All of these things lead to those things that we talked about before. the rote questions, the sprint plannings that are not really useful, the retros that nobody wants to be in, the too many meetings. We have too many meetings. Look at my calendar, Reese. My favorite, though, is when somebody's got like 3 meetings on their calendar, and I'm like, have you seen my calendar? But yes, so too many meetings. So how do we fix it? Tell us the formula, Reese. Are you ready? Yes. I can't. Want to know why? Because look back at that list of whats and whys. Was it 1-to-1? Was every single this thing that I'm seeing caused by this only one thing? Or vice versa? This one thing, this thing causes just one thing? No. So I can't give you a 1-to-1 problem to solution either. Just one. Just one. All right, fine. All right, I'll give you one. Yeah? Stop pretending you can treat everything as a complicated problem where you can just categorize it and fix it. You got to kick the tires. Where'd he go? Where's he at? I told him I was going to put kick the tires in here. No. Oh, he's back there. There he is. See, I told you I put a slide with kick the tires. Yeah. You have to dig into the why. We often skip from the what to the fix. The what to the how. We skip the why. We don't get in there. We don't actually figure out what is causing the problems. We just try to fix it. We go, ooh, I've seen that pattern before. And Scrum says, here's how you're going to fix it. My 18 years of coaching, I've seen that before. Let me tell you how many times I've done that. Oh, I've seen that before. I screwed up badly. Like, this is like the #1 mistake that I have made in my career is going, ooh, I know how to fix that. Let's go do this. Y'all are doing it wrong. Yeah, even more fun. Assuming they're idiots. No, really. Like, just because they're not doing what you think they should be doing, because they're not doing Scrum right, it's not because they're idiots. It's not, they're like these people that you're working with are smart humans. Like Melissa said earlier, like prime directive, y'all. Assume that people are coming to this with like their eyes as open as they can be, with the experiences that they have, with good in their heart, with knowledge in their brains, and they're just doing the best thing they can. Assume that they're not doing the thing you think they should be doing because maybe they've tried it before. Do you know how awful it is to walk in and coach-splain to somebody that like, oh, you're doing it wrong because I've seen it done this way. And they're like, yeah, idiot, we did that 6 months ago, 6 months before, 6 months before, 6 months before, but it didn't work then. Tell me why it's going to work for you, right? So stop assuming that the people we're working with don't know what they're doing. Help them understand, dig in, ask why, kick the tires. For the love of all that's holy, kick the tires. All right, you all ready? Now those are the two like big mistakes, right? Those are my two formulaic pieces. But I told you all this one was gonna haunt us all the way through. All the whys. If you fix one thing, it is put a why to every single thing. Why are we doing this? Why do we want to even deliver this product to people? Not because we want to make money. That's always the back end thing. That's why we have a business. Like, we don't need to put that one on paper to make $1 million. Nope. Why? Because if your customers see to make $1 million is the reason you're doing it, I can tell you a company that I was recently working for had a membership program. And they were very frustrated that the customers that were using it as a discount program. They wanted it to be something that held their health. But the way they talked about it was a recurring thing. They would get recurring money from people. That's why they wanted to funnel people in the membership program. And I was like, okay. So yes, people are seeing it for exactly what it is, right? It's just a money motion. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Is your roadmap just a laid out bunch of projects that your success is, I did 6 things? Are customers happy? Are you changing the world in some way? Does everybody in your company know? Are you trying to make mobility more accessible to people so they can be independent? Do you have a truly strong why that people can get behind? Do your teams know what it is? Why do we want to create this product? Why do we want to build this feature? What do we hope gets accomplished at the end of this sprint? There are so many teams that I talk to that have never tried a sprint goal. They're like, yeah, at the end of the sprint, we want to get 60 points done. I'm like, what if it fails? Well, yeah, we fail if we don't get 60 points done. I'm like, no. Like, what do you want to accomplish at the end of the sprint? Oh, we want to get into beta. We want to get our first piece into the hands of users so we can start beta testing. Now, that's something we can work with. We can make trade-offs then. We can have conversations then. We want to get something that we can actually do something with. We can work together. We can all share a common goal. So yeah, the other one is answering the why are we here? This is not like an existential, like, why are we here, Reese? But truly, why are we here in the meetings? Like, the thing that we hear over and over again is there are too many meetings. A lot of the conversations we said were there are dysfunctions inside of our meetings. People are asking for this. Retro is useless. Nobody wants to do it. Can we do stand-ups twice a week? Let's just talk like robots in stand-ups. Let's have the meeting after the meeting, before the meeting to discuss the meeting, and then we'll send an email out that'll cause us to have another meeting. Yeah. We need to start all of our meetings with the purpose. Why are we here? What do we hope to accomplish? And keep repeating it. Check in. When you're creating the meeting and putting it on the calendar, check in. Does everybody know why we're doing this? Why do we sprint plan? Do you know how many times I get to plan the sprint? I'm like, yes. You just grabbed stuff from Jira. Did you plan something? Was that planning or just allocating stuff? Like, why are we here? What do we hope to get done? And keep checking it. Keep reinforcing that. Keep making sure that truly we are getting the thing out of the meeting that we want. This also gives you the ability to check other meetings for redundancy. If we have a sprint review and a quarterly review and a backlog review and a meeting with the business owners to talk about what we're doing, and I'll probably find like 6 others that y'all have also attended, and they all kind of have a shared purpose. Let's figure out how to consolidate those so that we're not having these things that continually repeat over and over and over again, and everybody's like, we have too many meetings, and nobody wants to be in them, and so they're checking out. Or even more fun, now that we're all on Zoom a lot, multitasking, because you're in the same meeting 6 times in 1 week with one like different person, so you don't really truly get the decisioning out of it because the right person's not in that meeting, so you have to go to the other one to make sure that that business owner can sign off on that thing, right? But like, no, seriously, why are we here? If your team, and here are the systemic things that are going to cause these dysfunctions inside of your events. If your team is not working together on a shared problem set towards a shared goal for the sprint, your stand-ups are going to be a waste of time. They're going to be a status meeting because no one cares what anyone's working on because they're not working with each other. They're just telling you what they did, they're not listening, and it's not going to do anybody any good. So if we have one of those fancy-dancy shared goals, we will actually have a meeting that's real every morning where we collaborate, where we coordinate on what's the stuff we need to get done today, and how are we going to do it, and what do we need each other for, what do we need anybody else for. If your sprint planning is just you grabbing 60 points in Jira, you could have done that automatically. You didn't even need to come together. But what truly needs to happen in that sprint planning is us to come together and go, okay guys, here's our goal. What's the stuff we need to do to meet that goal? And what do we need each other for to do it? How are we going to do it? What's the back end look like? What's the front end look like? What do we need from UX? Do we need something from marketing? Do we need something from the email guys? What do we need to make this thing a reality at the end of the next 2 weeks? That's what a sprint planning is. Backlog refinement, ongoing activity, not necessarily a meeting, but if it is one, if y'all come in there and read a Jira board of things and go, yeah, I get it, that's not refinement. That's reading a PRD with people. And that is a waste of time. If you're truly getting, and I heard somebody say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call you out on this. He goes, yeah, I see the backlog and we just have this like blank user story and doesn't have any requirements or anything in it. And I'm like, sweet! That means we get to have a conversation because that's the purpose. Those stories in your backlog, those story cards, those are supposed to meant to be a placeholder for a conversation. If you're not having a conversation and y'all are all just sitting in front of a 60-inch TV or in your bedroom on your bed in front of Zoom, staring at a Jira story, that's not refining, that's not collaborating, that's not working together to get to a shared understanding of what you guys need to get done. That also means that you don't really have any input on it. And so you're not really invested in it. So all these other things start getting really redundant. If you don't solve anything in retrospective, they become a waste of time if they're just a gripe session. If you guys aren't getting together and truly getting down into the nitty-gritty and going, what isn't working? How can we work better together? What are the things that we need from each other? Not just the rest of the organization. If all of them would get their stuff together, we would be great, right? What do we need to do to get better? Who do we need to influence to make things better? What can we do to change? And if your sprint reviews are literally a one-way presentation, again, could have sent it out as a video, people. If you're not getting feedback, if this is not an inspect and adapt session where you're truly putting things out there, potentially letting go of the reins and putting it in the hands of we'll start with your executive team, but after that, maybe stakeholders, maybe customers, one can hope. If you're letting go the reins and letting them truly test it out, see how it works, break it in front of you. Have you ever watched your mom send an email? Let someone else do it. You'll see all the problems with the user interface. You'll see everything you assumed when you thought they weren't idiots they would do. Hand it over, make it an inspect and adapt. That's why these things keep happening. Because we don't know why we're here. We don't understand the purpose. We're truly not coming together and collaborating as a team with a shared experience and shared goals and a shared understanding of why. These things are going to get us to a place where we're truly being able to be iterative and incremental with the stuff that we're doing. And here's the biggie. If it's not working, stop doing it. Scrum didn't say, trust me. Everything I hear, Scrum said, no, it didn't. Scrum didn't say you had to say, yesterday I did this, today, no, it didn't. Come in, try something different. Say, hey guys, what's the stuff we need to get done today? How are we gonna do it? That little change will help you start thinking towards collaborative. Try something small. Don't change everything. Dear Lord, don't come in and be like, we're gonna do Scrum the right way, Reese said. And change everything, because let me tell you, when it doesn't work, when it makes everything worse, when you hit the bottom of that satir curve, everybody's gonna blame Scrum. Or Reese. It's usually Reese. Y'all, I've gone into organizations that I haven't been in 2 years, and they're like, Reese said. And I'm like, no, I didn't. That's a lie. Reese did not say that. But yeah, if everything's broken at that point, if nothing is working and everyone's unhappy and nobody's getting what they, guess what they're going to blame? Your stupid agile process. And they're going to be like, let's go back. And everything's going to be even worse, and then everybody's going to quit. But so let's try to not do that. Let's try to make small changes. Let's try something. But don't just try something. Don't just change something. Figure out why. Why do we want to change? Why do we want to do anything different? Do we want to be more collaborative? Do we want to make our customers happier? Do we want to be more predictable? I think Agile Velocity has a big thing out there. It's like, what are we trying to do? Do we want to be more market responsiveness? Like those things, that was not a sentence. Do we want to have more market responsiveness? There we go. Those are our whys. Like, so when we are going to change something, we need to understand why we want to change something. And that will help us have a collective experience when it gets hard, when it's icky, when it doesn't feel fun, when we feel uncomfortable, then we'll know why. And we go, okay, can we check back in on that? Can we understand why we're changing this small thing? Try a minimum viable process. Like, don't just, as I said, don't just change it to Scrum. Just don't do everything. Try just getting better. As much as I said, I don't want to fix your dang stand-ups. Like, try that. Try having a sprint goal. See what it changes. See how it changes the conversation. If we have a sprint goal, we have a small thing that we're trying to accomplish, what does that do in our backlog refinement? It tightens up the conversation. We have a little less like, ooh, we're trying to get through these 14 stories real quick in this next 2 hours. It's more, okay, we're talking about this big thing. We want to get this checkout system to a place where we can test it. Okay, what's the stuff we need to do? Okay, how are we going to do that? And the conversation then is well-rounded. We don't feel like we're like jumping from conversation to conversation. Then we go into sprint planning. We take those things and we can all collaborate on how we're going to solve them together. Every day when we walk into stand-up, we're actually talking to each other. We're actually going, what do I need from you? What do you need from me? When we go into sprint review at the end of the sprint, we can tell a cohesive story. We're not just like, okay, now Johnny's gonna just demonstrate this little feature over here, and look, Susie's got this bug over here that we fixed, and like, here you go. And you know, our stakeholders are like, just don't show me unit tests. Please, God, don't show me unit tests. Somewhere along the way, we lost the purpose. We thought it was just doing this stuff. That was doing Scrum. That it wasn't building products that people love by people who love to build them. We got to come together and stop trying to do Scrum, trying to go to our stand-ups and torture ourselves. Like, let's peel back the layers and go, why are we doing what we're doing? Let's try something and let's do it together. And last but not least, did I tell you anything that you didn't already know? No? Yeah, so here's the fun part. So I read this book. It's called Healthy is Bad Word. And in it, she said, all right, guys, I've got the secret for you. Remember I said we had a secret? I had a secret for you. To being healthy as all heck. Move your body, drink water, sleep more, eat more vegetables. And then she said, did you throw your book against the wall? We know this stuff, guys. We know that we have to talk to each other. We know that we have to set goals. We know that we can't just do same stuff, different day. We know we can't be like, poof, you're empowered. Poof, you're Scrum. Or all the other poofs we came up with. We have to just do them. They're hard sometimes. They feel uncomfortable. But if we can truly get down to what our whys are and help everyone in the room have a really, truly shared understanding of why we're all here and what we're doing, we're going to build better stuff together. We can even do this stuff on Zoom. I keep saying in the room. I've tricked my brain that I haven't been sitting in my office at home for the last 2.5 years. Like, I see y'all in human form, and it's hard. But yeah, just gotta kind of do it. So that's all, folks. That's me. Y'all want to connect with me on LinkedIn? If you have any other questions, I think we've got like 3 minutes. We can do questions.
Correct.
Yeah, I scourged that right to the line. It's good. Anybody? People online?
Max has a question.
Oh, Max, what's your question?
Reese, this is awesome. Is there one case study example that really stands out, which you're like, oh, this was going on, and I did this, and things got better because of this? Like, just something.
Yeah. So I was working with a company. It's on my freaking LinkedIn, so it's not a secret. So I was working with a company, Everlywell, and I originally talked to them. They were doing very strict Scrum. And then we kind of disappeared for a minute, and we came back to do another round of discovery, and they were doing Agile. I was like, okay, so we got some things to unpack. And then that was February of 2020. And then we all know what happened, and they were the very first company that was doing an at-home FDA-approved test when nobody could test. So they did a lot of work. And so when we finally, everybody came up for air in the middle of the summer, July 2020, I came in, and you can imagine when you do a lot of work and you're just being agile, just doing work, there was a lot of transparency missing. There was a lot of burnout happening. There was a lot of and so they brought me in to bring in kind of this minimal thing, see what's working, what's not. Let's try to fix small things. Let's try to help making sure everybody understands why we're here. And we want to do something that's repeatable because we're about to double our engineering team the next couple of months. So let's figure out something repeatable in this like minimum process type thing. But yeah, we just made sure we continually repeated, like, why are we here? What are we doing? What do we need to change? What do we need to fix? What's working? What's not working? And not just like, all right, guys, everybody go around the Zoom. I'll call on you. Somebody pass the ball or whatever the thing. And it's truly just getting to that place. They were a really, really high-performing team. Lots of teams. Too many teams. The end. All right, cool. That's my time.
That's it.
Peace out.
Everyone, thanks, Reese.